The key is moving the signs, and that's why dynamic speed signs, if we can't move them after so why that they're diminishing, and they also break pretty quickly. So they're 2,500 plus the maintenance is pretty high. So if we had the issue on by Padways on 144, and that's what they wanted was dynamic speed signs, and they didn't work.
I think we need to know how big of an issue we have out there before we decide on doing anything.
When I recommended the speed study, I was saying in the spring.
Yep.
Not now.
Right, right.
So we would, look at, I mean, that's why I wanted to put the example in there, and we did have the trailer. I agree that they see it, some people will slow down, some people don't, they're just in a hurry, they're not, very observant when they're driving, but, yeah, it'd be an opportunity, and we'll check with the county to see what they have too, so.
When is our next turn with the trailer?
We have it right now.
Oh, okay,
So when would be the next time?
We have a schedule, I'd have to
Oh,
check.
okay.
okay,
It's a rotating basis.
okay.
And not to,
Just real quick, just for a minute.
Go up here
just
first.
one, I guess, not to push any of this off or anything, but, you know, I know we're planning to do 60 again this summer and Highway P. I mean, are we, you know, are we gonna see less traffic on that road coming this summer because the two major roads, at least on the north and west side, are gonna be closed? I'm just, we're gonna, you know, might skew the data even more in a positive way because you're gonna see less traffic because of this construction that's outside of the, just something to
Great point. We'll
think
find-
about, not to push it off for another, I'm saying year or anything like that, but I guess just something to think about when all of this
I
comes.
think it'll be higher, Chris, because it's,
I don't remember how the
well, it's,
detours are
it's
set up.
east, they're always gonna keep the road open. So it's eastbound only. So if you miss your turn, you know, where you're gonna turn off, you're gonna have to go and go again. So if you're missing your turn, you're probably gonna come down Glenbrook and then go on the backside, go down Sherman, and then come back up on Jackson Drive or the head. So it'll be interesting to see.
Okay,
to see what
I
the-
don't remember exactly how.
But you could do too, you know, we would, I just don't wanna, you know, Mike and Chris is here and, you know, we don't wanna take a blind eye to it. We know that, you know, we have dealt with this a lot. There's, you know, we can drive around the village and tell you all the issues that we have with that, with traffic control and stuff. But, I think that's a great start to look at gather data and see, and it might be skewed a little with, other traffic patterns, but then you can always do it next year again too. And once we get the trailer and the county is willing to give us, material too to help us, you know, with, traffic and stuff. So we'll reach out to them, see what we can collect.
Real quick hit.
Yeah, just real quick, and I don't wanna seem ungrateful for anything here. Politics is never a career I'll pursue because of how long things take to get done. But it takes time to get the trailer, it takes time and money to perform a traffic study. And if you take a look at the cost of some of these things, that money for those traffic studies, because our village is growing, these problems are occurring all around the village. I encourage you guys to be proactive and do some of these things. Traffic studies don't need to occur. Population is increasing. More people are moving here, more people. And it takes time and money to do that kind of stuff. I wish that kind of money would go into, just like schools, there's so much wasted money. And if that money would go to students in classrooms, schools would be better. Let's put the money and implement some of these things. Thank you.
But we're not spending, this is doing it by staff.
Correct.
Yeah, so this is.
Right.
Trying to find time and everything else that we do to do
Correct.
the study and figure it out. So,
Right.
Yeah,
And it's a good start.
it's a start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we can budget next year for line paint, you know, we could paint some lines and that, but I mean, we have other crosswalks that we paint at this point. Mostly for crosswalks and that, we zero in at around the school is, and look at the patterns that, for the kids that go to school That's where the crosswalks are. That's where we paint, so.
So you have enough direction to
Yep.
move on? All right. All right, thank you. Item number 4 on the agenda, review of bids for the 2024 Jackson wastewater treatment plant improvement project.
So here, in front of you is, so this is, hot off the press, so we had the bid opening at 1 o'clock, this afternoon. Very, we moved the bid, back, as you saw in the memo, and that, there was a couple of contractors that said, hey, if you give us another week, we'll actually give you a better bid and stuff, so we took advantage of it, pushed it back. Greg was on vacation, so he just got back from, Puerto Rico, so, we had the bid opening in that, so there was, as you can see on the sheet, there was, 5 bidders. And, you go to the one, so there was, as you were joking before, the spec was, pretty big. So we had some, alternates, in the bid. So if, the base bid, going back, the estimated, project bid was, 4.8 million that we, and, with all the alternatives, and we'll talk about it, was, it came in at $4,715,248. So we were under the estimate. And if you go to the spreadsheet that you have, and I have highlighted, so the base bid is actually from, JS, not Hunsinger, Hassinger, sorry, thank you. So, so you take the base bid of the $4,678,533, and then go down, and we would like to take, on Schedule C, we're gonna take, the interior processing piping, we're gonna change it from PVC to stainless steel, and that's gonna add another $14,715, which is, I think is a pretty cheap alternative. And then we're gonna, there's a connection of, sewer that we need to, make to get to the headworks of the plant again, and that's another 22,000. So if you take them two numbers and add it into the 4.6 million, that's what gets you your, on the first page of, the 4.7 million.
Any questions for Brian?
Just one, going to the stainless steel, I understand it seems better, okay. Do you ever have a lot of need to repair or whatever, and is it, I mean, is it a longevity thing you're looking at, or just it's stronger?
Just as stronger. So this would be the pipe work inside, right off of the tertiary filter build, or tertiary filters. So instead of having, so the other one that we have in place now is PVC or C900, and we wanted to do this alternate bid to see if stainless steel would be better for the pressure. So that's why we went to that, and then the wear and tear, so. So this is a clean water fund, so we'll, you'll see another contract, construction contract next month from, Town and Country, and then we'll put that all, together in the bid package, and then go for the loan. So right now, you would accept it's actually on page 2, what the Town and Country would recommend would be the motion.
I will go ahead and make a motion to recommend village board approve the bid price of $4,715,248 to J.H. Hassinger for the wastewater treatment plant improvement project.
Second.
We have a motion by Heckendorf, second by Hollenberger. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5 is change order number 1 for the Jackson wastewater treatment facility storage garage for Hunziker Construction.
So the first change order had 4 items on it. The first
first item was, alternate, we had steel, a steel roof on the building. We changed it to all shingles on that, so that was a bonus for a minus $48,250. The next one was the thickness of the panel. So we have the gauge sheet metal that was on the outside of the building, so it matched the existing what we had on it. So that was a cost savings of $4,189. The next was vinyl windows. We had aluminum clad in the spec. The vinyl windows matched the existing building, so that was another cost savings of $1,400. And then through the, there was a modification of the stand for the HVAC unit. It was gonna be on a concrete pad. The crew was a little leery on that they would run into it in that, so we elevated like the existing one, and that was we had to spend $2,162. So, but the overall was a negative $51,677 for the first change.
Be looking for a motion for that.
Motion to approve change order number 1.
Second.
We have a motion by Hollenberger, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion?
Quick question.
Yep.
On the paneling, when you had to get to the color that matched the clay color, whatever you had to go to a thinner gauge metal. Is that gonna be an issue at all, or? Okay. Okay.
Anything else? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6 is change order number 2 for Jackson Wastewater Treatment Facility.
So just a pause, we'll go through all these change orders.
And then during the pay request, I'll tell you where we're at with the project. So, the next one is the lighting modification. This was, where the addition connected to the existing building. We had a doorway through it. This way, when the crew walks through the doorway, the lights will go on in the other, in the addition. So it's, for safety and that. So that was an additional, $684 in change order number 2.
I'm gonna be looking for a motion for that.
Make a motion to accept change order number 2.
Second.
We have a motion by Engelhardt, second by Mitchell. Any further discussion?
Is this for change order number 2? Or
Yes,
2.
2.
Okay.
I clearly said 2.
The tape back.
Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, change order number 3 for the Jackson Wastewater Treatment Facility.
So this was on our garage doors. So there was a sliding lock and a horn. Every time the door would go up, it would beep and stuff, would be very annoying. It doesn't, it's used in commercial buildings, but in this case, it's a wastewater treatment plant. It doesn't qualify, so we didn't need it. So they gave us a credit of, it was in the, they put it in the plan. Well, we didn't have it in the plan, but they had it in their bid. So they gave us a credit of $1,200 toward it. So that's the change order number 3.
Be looking for a motion for a change order number 3.
Make a motion to approve change order number 3.
Second.
We have a motion by Hollenberger, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8 is pay request number 3 for the Jackson Wastewater Treatment Facility Storage Garage, Hunziker Construction, in the amount of $227,905.83.
Yes, so to give you an update of the building, so the building is actually completed. We went through the punch list items, very minor labeling of some GFIs and changing out a couple of circuits that we needed that need to be GFI for the lighting. But otherwise, we're taking, they have turned the building over. We have signed a substantial completion of it, and so the guys are starting to move racking and everything else in the building. So that's pay request number 3, and that reflects change order number 1 that you just approved, so. And due to the building was we're about a month ahead of time for the building being completed, so we're ahead of schedule, which is great. And then due to the Christmas, and since we didn't have a December meeting, that's why all these change orders are coming now in the pay request.
Okay. Looking for a motion for pay request number 3.
I'll make a motion to approve pay request, number 3 for the, Jackson wastewater treatment plant to Hunsinger Construction in the amount of $227,905.83.
Second.
We have a motion by Matter, second by Mitchell. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9 on the agenda, pay request number 4, Jackson wastewater treatment facility storage garage for Hunsinger Construction, the amount of $142,692.68.
So this does not reflect any of the change orders that you have approved. So we'll do pay request number 5. We'll include the change orders, and then there might be one more change order, unfortunately, before we close out the project, so. I can't remember what, we discussed it today, but,
All right. Looking for a motion for pay request number 4.
And I'll make a motion for, pay request number 4 for the, Jackson wastewater treatment plant to Hunsinger Construction in the amount of $142,692.68.
We have a motion by Matter, second by Hollenberger. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10 is pay request number 2, State Highway 60 street lighting project for Will Surge in the amount of $94,502.93.
project was moving along, and all of a sudden we got 18 inches of snow, so it kind of put a damper on it, so, talked to him today, so hopefully, two things with the project was, in order to have them keep going, we would have had, bring out the crew at 2:00 in the morning to remove snow and stuff, and I didn't want to pay overtime. Usually we've been just plowing back, the Main Street, and you can see some people are cleaning and pushing the snow actually on their property, or cleaning on it. So the second thing is it's, weather has changed, it's melting, so there's a possibility, it looks like, they have started wiring. So we do have the meters set, or we have power on, the west side of the tracks on Center Street. So once we get the rest of the poles tipped and wired, we could fire them up right away and see if they're working on. We Energies is working on the service on right out here. You look out the window, that hasn't been, I apologize. There's other, streetlights that they might have energized it last week. So we do have power on both sides. So then they're gonna come back on Thursday to start tipping more poles. So the crew asked me, and they said, well, why don't you have them remove the snow? And I said, they're electricians. You guys are snow removal people. So, we would rather, I said, I'd rather have people do what they're capable of doing. That would have been a chaotic mess out there having that. So you can see the first pay request, and there's a second one. So the plan is to get project done, lit, everything. I said the Will Surge, we have until probably April 1st, and we'll talk. There's another item on the agenda that we can talk about, and about the Highway 60 reconstruction project. So I said weather permitting, but they're excited to get this project done too, so. The one kicker I mentioned to the administrator, that I learned last week, that the Eagle Drive and Highway 60 project, We Energies, because they're concrete poles, they're making us pay for the removal of the poles. Wood poles, they can't, there's a tariff, they can't charge us. So what that opens up is all the 68 poles, I'll come back with a report next month, but we're gonna be charged for removal of the poles on Highway 60, so sad to announce. So we're still fighting that battle, but anyway, that's the update.
Looking for a motion for pay request number 2.
I'll make a motion. Make a motion to approve pay request number 2 on the Jackson 60 street lighting project payable to Will Surge in the amount of $94,502.93.
Second.
We have a motion by Matter, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion?
Just one other time. So this, due to the snow, the village board being delayed in that, so this one is actually was at budget and finance already. And then since we had this meeting and the village boards tonight, this got back on our agenda, so.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, pay request number 3 for this Highway 60 street lighting project for Will Surge in the amount of $124,79. Looking for a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to village board approve pay request number 3 for the there's Highway 60 street lighting project for the amount of $125,124.79.
Second.
We have a motion by Spurna, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion on that item? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, review bids for the Eagle Drive and State Highway 60 intersection improvement project.
So, DOT went out to bid and they bid both projects together, the resurfacing project and the roundabout project of Eagle and 60. It's in your packet with the memo that I sent. So back in March, we signed the agreement that our portion would cost, this is for the roundabout, of $322,534. Then in November of this past year, they said, hey, rate of inflation, we're gonna adjust it, and they adjusted it up. Our portion would have been $404,769.64. And the bids went out and it was 21% lower than what they anticipated. So with that, it goes bells and whistles, flags, and, the DOT said, they stop everything and say, we screwed up on this. They had to look at why but they went and they did the review and stuff. But if you look at your last page of that packet, there was 6 bidders that bid on both projects. The difference between the 6 bids was $175,270.73, which is, right, Chris, that's incredible of how closely that was. I didn't do that for our wastewater, but how closely this thing was bid is unbelievable. Which is really cool to see is that even with inflation and all that, we're getting good bids for competition. So our portion, with everything being 21% down, so our portion now is $294,459.02. That's the construction portion of it. So it's good to hear, and this is it's TID number 7 funded. So.
And it looks like Vinton was the low.
Yeah, Vinton Construction was the low on both, so just so you know, County Trunk Highway P will be bid in February, so.
And you're looking for a motion to put that forward to village board?
Yeah, because that's, even though the DOT, they're okay, but we should really, make a motion for the expenditure out of the TID district.
I will make a motion to recommend village board approve the bid from Vinton Construction for the Eagle Drive and State Highway 60 roundabout project in the amount of $294,459.02.
Second.
We have a motion by Heckendorf, second by Engelhardt. Any further discussion?
Do you need to explain in the motion that that's our portion of the larger bid, or just, is that good enough? That's the only question I've got.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Anything else?
Doesn't have to go to the JRB, does it?
It does not. It was within the TID plan.
Anything else? All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, review of DNR Urban Non-Point Source Planning Grant Report. That's a draft.
Yeah, it's a draft, so, there still has to be some exhibits put in it, but, we're getting closer on, so the DNR is, reviewing the report and gonna get back to us now. The 60 days starts counting of getting our money, our $31,000 back, or a portion of, what we paid for this, so we'll, this next month, we'll work on that and get our, the money back on that, so, but then once we finalize the report, as you can see, there's some, numbering problems in the report, so, probably didn't notice it, but the main thing is we're proposing, or the study showed that proposing a biofilter, to take care of the stormwater, and it would be on the east side of the road, on either side of the creek, north and south. So I just wanted to show it to you first. If you have any questions on it, then we can go over it. But then hopefully next month we'll have the final report with the exhibits and everything else in it. So.
I do have a question. Okay, looking at where they went to put the biofilters and such, that area was being considered for possibly the dog park that they're working on?
Well, the biofilter would be, closer to the road.
Right.
So, so we look at, hopefully doing the dog park beyond that. What I'm excited about the RFP on the dog park is, the one, MSA that I believe that you selected was gonna do a village-wide,
Right.
search of it too, in case it doesn't, or if we have too many environmental concerns and stuff that are in that area. But something, after talking with Kelly, something needs to happen to the park, even if it's not a dog park. But I really wanna, even with this study and we start talking with the DNR, it'd be really cool to improve the creek at that and actually put like a fish hatchery or something, and maybe not a dog park, but maybe a fishing area or something that we could actually have on the creek. That'd be cool. And then we would get credit for water quality back to the plant and stormwater too, so.
At one point, we were talking about parking in the area where they're talking about. Are you
Right.
still able to do that, or is that out of the question? Because you wouldn't want to pave over the top of it, I wouldn't assume.
Well, while this is, no, you can't, not with this design, but maybe we put in, there is a section in here that talks about, storm interceptors, where you'd actually put a tank in, but then be able to vacuum out of your, the debris that sits in them and stuff, so. Yeah, it's great questions, Tim, it's just the start of something bigger. And then so, this is what came up with the biofilter. There's a portion of it when we wanna, I talked to Man about this, we're gonna add a paragraph or maybe a page on it, why we didn't do a standard pond, with a clay base, and that would've been too shallow. And it would've probably taken up all the woods and on both sides, so that's why they came up with this biofilter, to make it smaller, to do the storm concern. So we'll take this, and then we're gonna get, you approve Gremmer's, contracts, so we'll get them in, and then we'll start designing the road and storm sewer and everything else, so we have a master plan for the whole area.
No action needed on this, right?
No, just to keep you up to date on this, so.
Any other questions for Brian? All right. Item number 14, Director of Public Works report.
Still no word from Midwest Firework, so. And it's really cool we have 7 houses in Next Generation, so are in the Oaks, so it's cool to see, so. Building strong. So you can see the numbers are going down a little, you know, but it'll be interesting to see after January and that the snow melts and, you know, how much we're taking at the plant and how much, Main Street, reconstruction actually helped us. So we're still, hopefully in the next, 2 months here, or, by the spring, we'll have, the interceptor and, the lift station study done to bring to you. And then hopefully, the storm pond, disappointed in that because we still gotta do, like 15 ponds yet for inspection. So once it gets better, we can inspect them. So the deadline is to have everything done by May 1st. Matt wants to be sooner, but just
With the-
being realistic.
With the interceptor, I think the last meeting I'd asked, because they were supposed to come and like seal up some of the leaks in the interceptor.
Yep, they lost a truck and yeah, that's different, but yeah, they're on schedule. They're supposed to come next month.
Okay,
But that's what they promised back in November and then, so.
okay,
But yeah, they're on schedule to do that.
all right. Any other questions for Brian and his report? If not, I would be looking for a motion to put that on file. I will make a motion to put the Director of Public Works report on file. Motion by Heckner, second by Hollenberger. Any further discussion? All in favor by saying aye? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, citizens or village staff to address the Board of Public Works. Seeing nobody, I would make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Wow. Motion by Heckner, second by, we'll go with Engelhardt. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Say Heckensack Hollenberger as many times as you can.
Motion carries. Thanks for coming.
What'd you say? The order was open again.